Yeah, put her on.
Yeah.
All right.
Welcome to Bogside Chats, where we're talking everything DeFi Kingdoms and keeping it casual. My name is Matty Pesk. As always, I am joined by Franz and Guy Kid. Boys, how we doing?
Not great tonight. I got home from work late. My Chinese food was late getting here. I just finished my last bite. It's been hectic.
But you just cracked a beer, so
Ready
things
to go
aren't all
though.
that bad.
Exactly.
I don't know. That threw me off. Saying you're not ready. You can't be doing that to me. You can't be doing that to me.
I've mentioned to you that I hate when you say how you doing. I feel like we're always just like good. Like we never have anything to say. So
all right, fine. So you're being saved tonight because we are joined. We're very excited to have a fourth box up on the screen by Stycks Intern. SI is what I'm going to say. SI, how are you?
Doing great. The Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition coming at you. Yeah, having a good night. Excited to be here with the crew of brilliant, wise, degenerate folk here.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's
I've
very
always
kind.
thought the same about us, actually.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I gotta ask. So, you've been playing DeFi Kingdoms for seemingly about as long as us. I mean, we jumped in November 21.
Wow. Yes, seemingly correct.
Oh, excellent. What brought you to it, and also who's Stycks? I mean, is that just your whole identity, or what's up with that?
No. Actually, I'm pretty much. All right, so I'll answer your questions in reverse order. So, who is Stycks? Stycks is one of my college homies, and he's been known as Stycks for at least 11 years now.
Wow.
To my friends group, that's just what we call him. So I am stealing his identity, and so Stick ETH to the man on Twitter. Shout out to him. He's my boss. Pays me minimum
College
oxygen,
coverage.
minimum breathable.
Yeah.
And but yeah, he's super cool with me stealing his brand because I'm pumping it up, and I'm excited to get streaming, so I can bring him on the show.
Right.
And then
that was gonna be my next question, or next issue I was gonna bring up. But talk to me more about when you got into DFK and how long you've been playing it.
Right. So my buddy, who is a major crypto whale, pre DeFi summer started, and when I first learned about crypto, really got into crypto, is because I texted one of my best friends saying "Hey man, wouldn't it be cool if one day you were able to be the bank and get interest on your deposits, and we could just use the crypto rails? What if the crypto stuff could do that?" And then he calls me. I texted him. He calls me immediately. Says, "Yo, man, my roommate is literally doing what you just described." And ever since then, I've been hooked. And so his roommate is the one who told me about DeFi Kingdoms months and months later than my initial story. And he's like, "Hey, you should go check out this chain Harmony. It's got this really cool thing called DeFi Kingdoms. I know you're super into video games. Let me know what you think." And I was like, "Man, I've never heard of Harmony. I'm not going to make it." And
they were not going to make
right. How ironic that turned out to be.
Yeah.
But so I came in, put in hefty satchel of $400 in the gardens when it was pretty relatively cheap in November. And then, decided to invest quite a bit more right about when it was 20. And so life's good for me right now.
And some more recently, correct?
Oh, yes.
You made a big purchase.
Oh, yes.
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 We will be talking about that as well. We're going to talk about some stuff from the AMA. And also, too, I want to do a shout out. Same thing with Guy Kid. I'm blowing up his spot a little bit. But the nickname Guy also came from college. And it's stuck with him since then. So, but yeah, final thing on our little intro here. You're starting streaming. Talk to us just briefly. What are you doing? What's your plans? And how can we tune in?
Yeah, well, I'd love to, but I've listened to Bogside Chats enough to know that we don't shill other streams. So
wow. All right, fine.
No.
Only paid sponsors.
That's great. That's great. We've said numerous times Bogside can be bought, but no one has taken
no
up
one's
on us.
offered.
All right, like I said, we're gonna talk about AMA. We're gonna talk about some Gen Zero stuff a little bit later, but let's start off with what's number one, the biggest thing in the kingdom. Crafting is live. The re-roll happened. I thought it was great. I mean, shout out to the team. Gas prices went up a little bit because there was 1 million people rolling, but no problems with the re-roll. Everything went smooth. It was super fun getting to watch for me, it was 100 heroes, and you got to just click through each one. I thought that was a lot of fun. Just general thoughts, like big picture stuff for that. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought it was very smooth.
Yeah.
It added some excitement to it. Whereas if it was just the tainted genes, I mean, I had one hero that was tainted. Like no one was like kind of stashing those, so it would have been a
Right.
very nothing event. But they turned it into a fun community thing, and yeah, I didn't get any good ones, but crafters. I mean,
No, I got one armor smithing with the earth, and it's a ninja that has last stand, so it's like a excellent hero.
Ooh,
I'm
all
very
right.
excited about that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, the tough thing with that though is, are you gonna craft
I know.
with them, or are you
I
gonna
know.
PvP?
I
Right?
don't know. Well, and that's interesting too, and I think this is my first big question: is do we think it's been priced in to heroes on the market yet, or
Crafting?
yeah, like when you
Way
see a
too
blue.
early.
I mean, I know it's early, but like when you see a blue, are you thinking like, ooh, this hero has more value? You know?
Yeah, I think there's some level. I think a lot of people that are holding those might be trying to figure out what that value is, but it hasn't been determined yet. Is there a slight premium? Probably. I don't think anyone's like aping into crafting just yet. Keep me honest.
I mean,
I don't know. I kind of had the opposite take. I was searching today for blue
But
craft, so double crafting.
are you paying a heavy premium for double crafting?
Double crafting alone, I didn't look at. I did the double crafting with the element, and I didn't see any below 200. Most were 400 plus. So, like, is that much of a premium? I don't know. Like
I think we all recognize that like the blue, and if you have the element matching it, that's going to be valuable. We don't know. We don't obviously know to what degree, and I think it's tough to like say if you're getting a good value or a good price on it or not. Because we don't know what crafting is yet, really.
Yeah, that's impossible right now. But I'll throw this one back at you though, because I agree with Franz that I think the blue is gonna be better, especially if it has the matching gene. But one thing Hubert also mentioned in the Discord chat, I posted some screenshots on the Twitter when I did it, or when he said it. It's that the blue genes will have maybe in the future going down the road some unique recipes, but also combo pairs might have unique recipes. And I feel like if and when, and I'm not saying it's going to be soon by any means, so I doubt this will be reflected anytime soon in value, but like if and when those recipes are released that require like an alchemist and a goldsmith, right. And I coming up with the right pair to maximize that, like a duo of traits, I think that's going to be very, very interesting. And we might see some weird valuations where there's just one hero that's like really well aligned on the stats for both of these two things, and there's this really good recipe. People are going to want that. And so I think you might see very outsized outliers in that case.
It's interesting because, like, do you think that if I have, leatherworking and goldsmithing, I'll be able to do something together with it? Because I kind of see it as, like, I'm still going to have to do kind of the quest and lock in the hero for the goldsmithing and then maybe lock in that same hero for the leatherworking side. And at that point, can I just use two different heroes? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if having the match to do the whole recipe would be anything more than convenient.
I saw what you're talking about when he posted that, of like there's specific recipes. I think it's going to be like, I don't want to use this word because it's pretty loaded in our community, but like amulets. Like an amulet, like in order to craft an amulet, you have to have goldsmithing and leatherworking. Otherwise, you cannot craft an amulet. Right. And so you'll enter a like leatherworking quest or however they do it, and it's like, here's your eligible things that you can do on your leatherworking quest. Only if you have the goldsmithing will you be able to do an amulet. Again, fun word to throw in there because I know the community loves that.
No, I actually, I was going to say the same thing as you. But one thing you just kind of triggered this question I never thought of before. Recipes. If there are different recipes, how will we acquire them? How will we learn them? And will it be per hero? Because that would be really interesting if each hero had individual recipes that it knew as opposed to an account.
Also interesting will be if we need it to be a ERC, like a random page that you find questing that might have something written on it.
So are you saying like you'd have to put them together the way like 11,
like Franz, I'm making fun of your thing about the
the scrolls?
No.
All right, hold on. So those are going to be for rerolling your skill tree.
Okay, sorry.
That's been all but said at this point. It's a hot theory in the community.
No, but I think that's an interesting idea of like those scrolls being used for recipes or a similar kind of device, like mechanism.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be that you have to build them as far as like have multiple pages.
No,
that
but
lead
like
to
you,
one
fi-
recipe.
you
But
find,
yeah,
you find the recipe somehow,
right. Or it'll just be something where, different raw materials make different combinations, and like there are no set recipes, but you can kind of
Right.
come up with something that I don't know. But like then it could be good, it could be bad. If there's no roadmap to it, it's kind of hard.
Yeah. Wowie in the chat. Also, shout out Wowie and I did Legionnaire last night. It was a lot of fun. But when amulet recipe page 10, kind of like that. Page 10 is the amulet recipe. Just troll the community,
What
Why
if
not?
you have to craft page 10
Ooh.
somehow?
Somehow.
Starbucks
There
would
we
be
go.
upset. Yeah.
Using blacksmithing.
Yeah.
No, but back to the crafting thing.
Right. Back to
one
the topic,
thing.
you're right, yeah.
One thing I've been kind of struggling with, or kind of tossing back and forth. Do you think that it's going to be one hero doing this job, or a group of 6?
Ooh.
Right, for maybe a faster timeline or something like that.
Or a more advanced item.
Right.
Because yeah, right. I mean,
like
you're
that.
putting more kind of horsepower, hero power into it, right? Because I think what I'm struggling with is like, if you only need the one of each, like it wouldn't be hard to get, what are there, 7, 8 different,
Yep.
8. So getting 8 different great crafters for
Sure.
each of them, then it's like, I just don't need any more. Like, I don't know. So maybe you need groups, or maybe it's a longer cooldown.
I have to. Well, that's cooldown is an interesting idea, but I have to imagine whatever you're doing, the outcome has a little bit of RNG built in, and so if you have 6 heroes each individually, who put that up? Who clicked that?
What? No, that was Guy.
Who?
We know I still don't have access to do it.
It's true. He
But
does
like
not
if
have controls.
if you have 6 guys making a bow, and the odds of one of them of being a mythic bow is like 1% or whatever, you're just gonna want to keep more and more guys making more bows because you want that to hit on a mythic bow. I don't see a problem with it all being one individual guy making one individual item. You know what I mean? As long as there's like an RNG aspect to it like that, where
So you're kind of seeing it as like crafting is going to be something that you're going to have the resources to do at a constant pace.
well, so all right, so you're worried about like
Right, like, am I going to be able to be making 20 bows in a day? Like, no, I don't think they're going to flood the market with
No,
with
yeah, I
equipment
guess
like
not.
that, even if a lot of it's common. I don't know, because
Well,
I
don't
was
know.
talking to Pouring about this, and this is how this kind of got into my mind.
Oh,
so
excuse
shout,
me,
shout out
you
to
dropped
him.
that. You dropped a name here.
Ooh.
That's where I get all my alpha from. I just repeat stuff he tells me. But we were talking about it, and it was the idea of like, I'm pulling up my notes here. So
Big thing top
he
says
was
pouring
saying-
notes.
exactly, yeah. No, the idea of like we were talking about. All right, maybe there's a longer cooldown where having more than one makes sense, like kind of like a summoning cooldown, where it's like 3 days. But I didn't love that because then it kind of takes stamina out of the equation.
Well, also interesting too, and SI commented on this. I want to hear his thoughts.
Are we
Something-
sticking with SI? by
I
the way?
like SI. You guys don't
Alright.
have to. You can say whatever you want. Grady has like pinpointed this, which is just hilarious to me because it's like super weird. But there's 2 different categories now of it's gathering profession and crafting profession. And Grady like can't handle that. I don't know why. He's just like, it's called crafting profession now. And I'm like, yeah, Grady, that's what it's called. But anyways, the idea of I like that cooldown is maybe you could do the crafting profession and then in between your cooldown you could go and do your gathering profession.
Well, no.
Well,
I mean,
well,
but-
Well, hold on. Yeah, SI, I want
So-
to comment on the Grady thing because it's so weird.
Yeah. So, you guys, they released the reroll, and they're calling crafting professions now. And it's like I'm just sitting here like Grady. It took me so long to wonder what word he thought it was gonna be, or you thought it was gonna be. Like, I think I finally realized it must have been skills or something, or abilities.
Right? Yeah.
But yeah, man, professions. That's what they're called in every game. It just makes sense.
Yeah,
So it's just been like
No,
triggering me.
I'm
every
with
time.
him. I'm with him. We already have our professions. This is
No,
something
you-
totally different.
No, they're just I don't
You have
know.
a gathering profession and a crafting
Yeah,
profession, just
I
like
don't-
World
yeah.
of Warcraft.
Yeah, that's how.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's also that's like the game I've played the most crafting wise, so maybe that's why it just felt natural to me. But yeah, Grady, you've been triggering me, but not in a bad way. It's just like every time you get me thinking, like, what does he mean?
What does he mean? What
Yeah,
does
but
it
I love
mean? Yeah. No, shout out to Grady. We got to get Grady back on Bogside. We haven't had him on in
Definitely.
forever.
I think Franz had something responding to
Yeah,
your
sorry, go
question
back to
about crafting and then gathering in between.
I had what?
A response, didn't you? Well, if you can't remember it, I remember what
I
it
don't.
was for you.
I think
is that
what
they're
Franz
gonna
was
run
going
out
to
of
say,
stamina?
because this is what just makes sense, is crafting's going to utilize stamina. It
Correct.
has to.
So we can't do my idea of filling in between.
Right.
I would think not. Yeah. And then here's the other thing about over flooding the market with crafting is that, it probably would take a while just due to how long some items have been out. But like if every person you have crafting is not gathering. And so there needs to be some balance in that. So I don't think everyone's going to send all of their heroes crafting all the time. People are going to want to still harvest the mats.
Right.
Well, I think that'd be interesting too, because that reminded me of like when Crystal Veil was released, a lot of people moved their funds or tokens from the Serendale Gardens to the Crystalville Gardens. But then the Serendale Gardens, the APR started like rising on those. So if you stayed there, and there were moves that made money like both ways. But I thought it was interesting. I think that is gonna be an interesting idea of like, if everyone's so pumped up about crafting, is gathering gonna be more beneficial, or are items gonna go up in value?
Well, I mean, I think the easy prediction is Swift Thistle to the moon, right?
I mean,
Always.
France has been a Swift Thistle truther since the beginning.
Yeah, it's an important resource. Speaking of which, stamp pots, if you have any you're looking to sell, they're at like 6.5 crystal right now.
Really?
Sold a bunch. But anyway, back on track.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's good. What you're describing with the gardens, that was a great time, right? Because I think when DFK is at its best, it's all about game theory.
Right.
The idea of if I'm doing one thing, I'm sacrificing the chance to do another. And I think that's the goal that they have. And that's what it kind of was for a while when we all had, not too many heroes. But I think it's gotten to the point where like you can kind of just do everything at this point, right?
Right.
So if there are reasons to be pulling them off of the gathering and into the crafting, I think that would be a great thing. But so it goes back to, are you going to need more than one? Can I just get 8 good crafters, one for each of the different things, and one good pet to go with it crafting wise, and be good?
Well, we got stuff on pets. I do want to talk about that, but I think there has to be something built in where having a group of crafters will benefit you for some reason. I feel like there has to be something like that. I don't know what it looks like, but I can't imagine a world where only having one good one of each is all you need. That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I don't know, because that's what I feel like people are planning for right now. That's what
I think that's
planning
fine if that's your personal strategy and goal. I think that's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I feel like there's going to be a benefit to like having a million armor smithers and like being that expert. I feel like there's going to be a benefit on that.
So, all right. So wait, follow-up question. And
Yeah.
this is all stuff that we have no idea about,
Sure.
but when crafting kind of hits its stride, right?
Mhm.
It's fully rolled out. Equipment is fully rolled out. Are you crafting more often? The general public crafting more often or summoning more often? Like, are we getting to that level of crafting?
So, I mean, I again, shout out to Wowie. I was on Wowie's stream last night, and he thinks crafting might be even more important than PvP, is the way he described it, because he was just saying how, getting the right equipment for your guys is how you get good at PvP. So he was saying that this whole aspect of the game will become the main focus of the game, which I was like, yeah, I can understand that, but also PvP strategy and making decisions, I still think is going to play into that. But going back to your point, I mean, I forget what your question was.
Stycks, do you have an answer since you probably remember the question?
He's not Stycks. You can't say Stycks. You have to come
I
up with
do.
something else.
I don't remember the question. I got so
Goddamn.
distracted by Maddie's
All right.
response.
0 for 2. Guy,
Do,
thoughts?
do you need me to bail you out?
Yes.
Yes, please. As always,
Clearly I
guy.
do.
As always, guy.
But from like a summoning versus a crafting
Oh, that was it.
perspective,
Summoning versus crafting. Okay.
I would actually shift the question to, are you going to be summoning for PvP or are you going to be summoning for crafting?
Well,
That's
all
a
right.
great
So
question.
rather than answer the question, you changed it completely. That is a good question. But,
I'm going to go for 3 for you.
all right.
And then he mutes. Oh.
Yep.
Fair enough.
I'll still be summoning.
I think I'm still gonna be summoning. I think I
That-
I
no,
don't
you
know.
guys
But like
are-
I will
alright.
also be crafting very much. Right.
We have to
like,
cut this whole section. That wasn't
Yeah,
that
we'll
wasn't
edit
the
it out.
question.
We can edit it
It's
out,
yeah.
yeah.
It's at its height. Do you think more crafting is going to be going on than summoning is today? Like, or is it even going to
Okay.
be close? Right? Like,
But
how
I don't think that's a
prevalent
fair
is crafting going
comparison
to be?
because summoning doesn't utilize stamina.
nice. I think that's a valid response.
It has its
Yeah.
own cooldown. True.
Right, but I mean,
So it's not
that-
like an
yeah,
either
that's
or
interesting.
question.
Right. Yeah, they can both be peaking. And so it's just as far as which one's doing more. I mean, like something Guy Kid indirectly brings up there is that there may be cooldowns or you're rate limited by stamina
Right.
on crafting. So summoning may be more because dark summoning can remove that rate limit. Yeah, I also agree with that. Wowie.
Wowie with the big wall of text for us. Thank you.
Can I just say how perfectly Stycks Intern fits above the big wall of text and
I
how
know.
I am still just completely covered?
You're always on the bottom. I don't know why
How
that
did
is.
that happen? We didn't choose that.
Yeah.
No, but what he's saying about durability, I think is interesting. I don't think they're going to do that because they're going to be NFTs, and there's no way we're going to have an item that you own deteriorate like that.
So just want you to know that Meme Machine said that like 20 minutes ago.
Did he?
All right. Shout out to Me Machine.
And also, there's no way they're going to have an item that
there we
you
go.
own
Yeah.
deteriorate. Well, what good is a pet that's not fed? And how is that really different than durability?
Repairing.
I think that's
Yeah,
diff-
they don't.
well,
You don't have to lose the item. It might need to be repaired.
All right, fair, I guess. I
Then
always think
I'm back on the durability.
See, I think
bandwagon.
durability, it's going to zero is what that means, and it's going to break and not be
Yeah,
available.
no, that's what I was thinking at first too. But
Yeah.
You guys play those
Repaired.
intense, really hard games. See, I play the casual games where items don't break on you; they just go to zero. And you have to
was
take
a-
them off.
You just got to repair them.
No,
Yeah.
Oblivion. That was a regular thing in Oblivion. Which
Oh,
was,
you're right.
So great.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Well, that was probably the most infuriating part of Breath of the Wild. Of you're
did
pretty much
stuff-
guaranteed your weapon was going to break.
now,
Like,
now you're just flexing on us. None of us
yeah.
have played that. I don't even know what that is.
it's actually a good one. It's just the
I-
Switch, so it's not as
I'm
popular.
aware of it. It's a Zelda game that's excellent, and I haven't played it as well, but yeah,
Oh,
friends.
it's the newer Zelda. Okay, got it.
All right, I think. Well, there's a lot more with crafting. I think we still need to wait and see how the market responds, and I'm curious to see how it does. I'm also curious if, based on nothing right now, if certain ones become more popular, like armor smithing, are we going to theorize that blacksmithing is more popular to make weapons than enchanting? Do you think
that
that's- I mean,
Guy, do you want to pull up the infographic from DFK Expert? If you have that, I can maybe drop it.
yeah, there you go.
I don't know
That's
if
it.
I have it handy.
Do
There
I
you go.
have that? Who do you think I am?
No, but what do you guys? And I think this might be easy, but what do you think each one of them is going to be for? Right.
I mean, blacksmithing, I think, is weapons.
And with the caveat that they're probably all going to be some form of a mix, right?
Right. Goldsmithing, I think, will be jewelry, like rings
Yes.
or
Amulets, things like that.
Armor smithing's gonna be armor.
Right.
Woodworking land, I think.
Ooh, land
building.
improvements. I could
Buildings.
see that. That would
buildings?
be cool.
Yeah.
See, that's interesting though, because I still think land stuff is a ways out, but I think equipment is not a ways out. So is it possible blacksmithing and armor smithing might have more value than woodworking if that's the case?
If that's the case, I mean,
more in the near future. I mean, obviously
sure,
on the road.
right now, of course. I mean, I don't know what else could woodworking be for. I mean, wooden parts of armor, sure,
maybe.
but
Yeah,
to me, I think-
Maddie had a thought when we were chatting just before the show is that it could be one of the things that makes the intermediate item that you use in a different
Yes.
spec.
So
maybe-
woodworking is the raw, so you get lumber
You-
from chopping trees, and then you get the raw wood that you need for whatever weapon, right?
Mhm.
And so you can't build that weapon unless you have this item in the middle here that woodworking is
Oh,
the only thing
okay.
that creates.
See that screams land to me though, and I know
No,
you're not saying
Yeah,
it
I mean,
exactly.
I think
as
you're
land,
right.
but
I think you're right on that.
so the other thought that I had, and I don't think I see them going this route, but the idea of these elements or these professions, I guess we're calling them crafting professions,
Mhm.
being linked to how good a piece of equipment is, right? So leather working, you're making a leather cap, a low level type of armor.
Sure.
Then you go to woodworking for like an intermediate, like a wooden,
Like raw
chest plate or
materials.
something, and then
Yeah.
you get to the armor smithing, which is like your steel and like your good stuff. But that would just create such like a hierarchy within these crafting
Well,
professions.
I actually like what you just said there, because you could have that be like the low level woodworking, and then higher level woodworking things could be more like trebuchets and whatever for your land.
Mhm.
So it'd be like a natural progression where like, yeah, the woodworking, the stuff you use at lower levels, that's what you use when you're grinding up your new heroes or what have you, and then you eventually grow out of it, but your woodworkers become better at something else that's valuable end game.
I like that a lot. I think, and also too, like leatherworking and tailoring. So like leatherworking and tailoring,
There's overlap there.
No, there's a lot of
feels
overlap
like
there, and also I love the idea of creating these intermediate items. And again, shout out to Adventures in DeFi. Raph and Neindorf had like an awesome stream last Wednesday where they kind of were talking about these like layered, layered ecosystem or layered economy where there's going to be items that are gathered, items that are like crafted, but then those crafted items are used to craft other items, and then they really kind of broke it down very well. But the idea of the armor smith can create armor for you straight up without anything. It just will be lower level armor. But if you leather craft something, if you tailor something, and then use that item and then bring it over to your armor smith, it could create an even better item.
The idea
I really like that
of
idea.
upgradable
Yeah.
items. Going off what Meme Machine says here, enchanting going to be great because everything could be enchantable. Hubert did make a comment about enchanting specifically in the AMA, I believe. I think he said that enchanting is going to be the idea of upgrading already existing equipment. I don't have the exact quote in here, but it's something like that.
Yeah. And then like the fine balance between enchanting is enchanting doesn't work on its own, but it makes everything else better.
Right.
So it becomes like a fine line between like where does that fit and the strength of different professions.
What do we think for alchemy? Because we already have an alchemist, right?
I think that most people won't be able to use that alchemist anymore unless they have the alchemy gene. Once the patch goes live, kind of bringing a lot of this stuff in. That's my opinion.
I don't know about that. I think, it'll still be there, and you'll have to make a decision of like, is your alchemist better than the one that has a shop on the screen? Which I think is super cool.
like that.
That's cool idea of like, my guy is not as good yet, but he's leveling up and gonna get there and surpass him, and then you have to make that choice. I like that a lot.
I see it a little bit differently as like either kind of a level 2 type alchemist, or maybe something where the higher your alchemy score is, you're getting some kind of discount on the materials needed at the alchemist. I don't know.
Well, all right, sorry.
That could be it.
That's an interesting idea too, of like, take what you get from the alchemist that's out there in the store, take the potions that he makes, and then bring them back to your lab, and you can make something better / upgrade them. That's kind of interesting, and that keeps him as valuable as staying in the game, as a NPC,
Yeah, I mean,
not what we were talking about, but do you think any of the crafting professions will tie into PvP in any way?
Well,
think of what we were just talking about from an alchemy perspective of maybe you could use a potion as a move in battle, or like some kind of souped up item.
Don't cover him while he's talking with a comment about what he's talking about.
Well, so I gotta disagree with you there.
Yeah.
Well, just on one point, like using a potion doesn't use your whole turn. So I actually do agree. So I actually think I agree with you. I just wanted to correct you on that one point. But I think there's going to be lots of item use in battle. And now, as we were sitting here, I was thinking maybe woodworking could make some kind of stakes that you use as a throw, and then you also have a normal turn, right?
Javelin or spear thing.
And then alchemy would tie in really well with that too.
Sorry, keep going. I didn't mean
No. That was pretty good end for me. So you're good.
I don't see that happening. I think they've been pretty clear, and this is something we talked about a while ago in terms of like the skill trees. Because I think that was something you said that came up to be completely wrong. And I just want to say that. I just want to make sure everyone heard what I said there. Guy said something wrong, but he said that there'll be skill trees that affect professions, and they definitively said no, that is not happening. Like, it is only for PvP. And I think that distinction that they made, I think they'll keep that going here with the crafting. I really don't think we'll see any bleed over of the crafting to the PvP at all.
I gotta take exception with that. You just pulled a random speculation from months back and tried to use it against him as a weapon. It's not what we do around here. No, but it's just weird. So the other thing about enchanting and alchemy, those are the only two that do not have pet bonuses currently.
Right. And this is a good segue. We do want to talk about pets in relation to these new crafting stuff. So I quick shout out, because I don't remember what it was, but Hubert did kind of give an update that they're going to be re-rolling, or maybe not re-rolling was the wrong word, but they're revamping pets. There's going to be a whole nother category of like super ultra rare above it, and then also they're changing some of what the elements do. And I should have known what I'm saying there when I say that, but go look that up from like an old AMA like weeks ago.
That was a
Man,
good thought.
That was terrible. I'm sorry. I need to.
I have
retire
no
after that.
idea what you just said.
There he gave an update a while ago about pets that like makes more sense now with some of these like element lining up with certain things.
Yeah.
I know which one you're talking about. Yeah. The one where they mentioned the super rares.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just can't quote it well, and I'm
No,
sorry.
me either.
for
That
everyone
was
listening.
that was a while ago. Like check
Yeah.
many weeks before you
Yeah.
start. Yeah.
But anyways, has this new crafting now changed how you guys are thinking about pets at all? I mean, I think I'm interested in pets aligning with the crafting, especially somebody who's like a blue with the matching element. Like, why not just go full throttle and get the pet to match that? I know, Franz, I know you might have some thoughts on this. Do you want to speak on it?
Yeah, no, I mean, why wouldn't you at this point?
I mean, yeah, obviously, yeah. Like,
You know, I think we're in a place, especially right now, where obtaining any of the 3-star crafting pets is not going to break your DFK budget. I don't know. The more we talk about it, the more I'm struggling with the idea of, am I only going to need one? Or is it going to be set up in a way, whether it's cooldown or whether it's effectiveness, where I need 6? If I need 6 good, leather workers with 6 leather working 3-star pets to be maximizing what I'm doing, then like, yeah, those are going to be through the roof. Like, that's going to be hard to obtain. That's a lot. But I don't know. If I only need one, I might just snag one. I was originally selling all my
same.
well-aligned blue stats, thinking like, oh, I'm going to capitalize on this. We got
I thought
plenty
you
of
meant
time.
pets. Oh, but
Well, that too, a little bit. Just like,
Yeah.
it's like, all right, it's out in the future, whatever. But like, again, if we only need one, I might just snag one now, like get a good one, and just set it and forget it type of thing.
yeah. I mean, also, I don't know. I'm not that inclined to go out and buy pets right now. I don't know.
Are you inclined to hatch? Do you just
No.
not think they're ever coming? Like,
I
what?
just-
Let's dive in here. What do you think's going to happen?
I just don't think the bonus will matter that much. I don't know. I just feel like I'd rather focus on PvP than like get in the weeds of like creating items and stuff like that.
I'm
And
gonna
so
steamroll you in PvP if you don't have any good pets.
I mean, I guess that, but I'll go buy them. I guess. I guess my point is, and this maybe is a choice thing and not like an advice thing of like my choices. I want to be in PvP. I don't know if I want to spend my time building up heroes that are good at crafting and matching them with pets. That's just not how I want to play this game. Which I think is the beauty of it, is like I can make that choice, and I love that. And I just think it's not a choice I want to go down that road, because I think it is very. I think it's kind of like grindy, and like if you want to do it, you got to really put some effort in to make sure that you have the pet that matches, you have the blue thing, you have the element. I think, I don't know. It's interesting. I think it's not for me in terms of how I play this game, is what I want to say.
SI, what do you think?
Yes, SI is gonna stick.
Yeah. Well, I think that, as I said the other day on McNasty's stream, crafting is one of the most awesome parts of video games for me. So I've definitely changed my pet plan. And
Interesting.
Yeah, so I'm looking for, but like I am in Mythic Squad, right? But I'm not like them where I can just be like, I only want mythics all the time. I'm kind of looking at different options, and I'm looking at the rares that have a 2-star, or even uncommons, but rares that have 2-star on the crafting profession, and you can pretty much get them for about the price of a booned pet when I checked last week. So it may have changed since then, but I'm just looking at those like, yeah, I mean, if I could hatch one myself or get one of these, I'm gonna just get one of these, and I know it's got at least 2 stars in the profession that I want, and I think that's gonna be like good enough to have the crafting experience be fun, and hopefully also allow me to sell lots of items to other players like Maddie, because it takes 2 types of players to make the market, right? So it works.
It's true.
No, I think that's the beauty of this, and I think the team. I hope the team is thinking about that and knowing that of like, and they've said that multiple times of like stamp pots. I remember when stamp pots, everyone was like, they're too expensive. What are you doing? And they were like, don't worry, it will even out because like people are gonna want to craft them and when PvP and stuff like that. Like I think they want this part of the economy where there's players that go hard into crafting and players that go hard into PvP, players that go hard into gathering. Like that's what they want for the ecosystem. So I think there's room for all of it, and that's why I kind of love it.
And I also think there's a lot of crap with the amount of effort they've put into designing this item use system in combat with like the stone weight and all the different abilities that impact it. I think a lot of the crafting professions, like I would even speculate all of them, will probably be able to make at least some form of consumable that you could use and burn while playing in combat. And I think, one of the big reasons I got into crafting initially in video games was because I was trying to do WoW raids as a little teenager, and I'd always have to go buy potions. So alchemy, herbalism, I would just spend hours after the raid herbing, and then because I just hated buying potions off the auction house. I like making them. And then I realized I could sell them, and then one thing led to another, and now I'm here in crypto.
So wait, so question. So I'm not a WoW player, so for question for you and question for Guy.
Not through lack of effort on myself, though.
Yeah, no, Guy tried many times to get me to play. I knew it would consume my life. I knew I'd dive in.
I told Guy, I was like, I'd be too scared. I can't. I'd be scared I would fail out of all the schools I was in. Keep going.
All the schools.
Almost did. Wait, what?
No,
college
so
and then law school.
Okay. No, the idea of God, you totally just ruined my train of thought there. What was I gonna say? But, with WoW. Yeah. So, how involved is it to be making those potions? Right, you have to like go on a quest. Like, how time consuming is that? Right? Because the reason I'm asking, because that's the deterrent for everyone kind of doing it themselves. With the set it and forget it game like DFK is, why aren't I just gonna go? Like the big barrier of entry is having all the raw materials. But again, if we all have 200, 300 heroes that are auto questing on a bot, like where's the barrier of entry where I'm going to go buy it on the tavern rather than doing it myself?
Yeah, I think that's a valid question. I really don't have a good answer for it. And WoW, the biggest like barrier to crafting was having the materials, exactly. And once you had them, it was like a 2.5 second cast timer to craft, and like the default game settings allowed you to say, I want to craft 100 of these and craft all, and then you could just walk away and let it do its 2.5 seconds thing. So I imagine that, to some extent, with the way quests already work in DFK, it's going to be very similar to that. But that being said, I did play another less popular MMO called Star Wars: The Old Republic. Shocking, I know. And in that game, there were a lot of you had companions that were NPCs that hung out with your character, and you could like send them out gathering, and then like even though it wasn't like the same strategy, I was shocked it worked. I just would have them harvest mats and list the mats on the auction house. And sorry, I keep using the word mats, but that's short for materials for anyone who's not familiar with it.
Thank you.
So I would just list them on the auction house, and I got a bunch of as much of the in-game money as I ever needed to do whatever I wanted. Yeah. Just from that. And so I imagine DFK will kind of land in somewhere like that, where I imagine that the people trying to raid in that game were using like the mat requirements were so high that it's just like I think the set it and forget it nature of gathering just adds like orders of magnitude to what the crafting costs need to be, and then it's fine.
Well, I think it's interesting, and Guy, I want to hear your opinion, because did you ever, especially in World of Warcraft, because couldn't you specialize hypothetically in being a gatherer or being a profession know,
So
that was
you
the
could-
distinction, right? But like, did
you
you
could
ever focus on
have-
one or the other?
You could only have 2 professions, but
Okay.
you get to choose any 2 professions. So you could
Right.
have a gatherer character that you were mining and fishing, for lack of a better
Sure.
example. Fishing actually wasn't a core profession, but we don't have to get into that.
Yeah. I wasn't gonna call it out, but I was
Yeah.
like,
I got you. But like you said, like gathering is something you had to go actively do. So if you had a hero or a character that you would go actively go out into the world and play with, like maybe you were just a gathering hero and you were doing herbalism while also killing the boars, collecting your herbs and skinning the boars as well.
Mm. But all right, so hypothetically, you could still be participating in like questing and part of like the game aspect,
Correct.
and still doing that gathering.
Yeah,
You
the
didn't have to,
gathering
like,
was a game within the game.
Stop everything that you're doing and go gather. Like you
Right.
could do both simultaneously.
yes,
Yep,
that's true.
exactly. But then
Yeah.
it becomes tricky of you can only do, I mean, in DFK, we've got what, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We've got 12 different professions, and each of your heroes can only, well, it's interesting that our heroes can do 4 of them, not 2 of them. But like one hero can't do all of the things.
Well, not simultaneously, but I
Right.
think. Well, I'm curious on crafting because I think it's a requirement.
It is.
I don't think you can walk into the blacksmith as an armor smith and be like, I want to make something. They'll be like, no, get out of here.
But I mean, that's kind of a moot point,
I know,
right?
that
Because
doesn't
how
matter that
often
much,
are
yeah.
fishers mining around the kingdom?
Sure.
You know,
Only when Rock 808 is playing, apparently. from what
does
I've
he do
heard.
that?
I've heard rumors long ago that he was having Gardener's
Long
Forge
ago.
or something like that. You know, like a month.
Back
Yeah.
in the day,
Well,
like
I remember
back
that,
when
yeah.
it was like December of last year, I
Well,
think I was
back
doing
when
that.
mining wasn't a profession yet.
Yeah.
Well, then you had to, but there was a time where I wasn't mining at all, or oh no, I had my warriors and paladins, even if they were fishers, I had them going mining.
Because
Oh,
mining
was-
was so
It wasn't
profitable at that
smart,
point.
but like
This
I
was-
thought
alright, this was-
I had it.
I shouldn't say years ago because it's all like within a year, but many months ago, when before like botting was like very common, there was somebody who created a formula that was like, do your main quest this many times, but if you have 29 stamina, do this one to like maximize the experience gained like per 24 hours. And it was like these wild formulas of like do one random quest every 4 hours or whatever, and like it made it work. And like whatever. But like I see there's no reason why to do an off profession for any
Right.
of your heroes at this point, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't
All
think
right.
anyone disagreed there. It was you made a valiant argument though. It was good.
Whatever.
Valiant indeed.
All right. No. All right. Listen, this is in my notes, and I was trying to tease it out earlier, but it says Franz Alpha in my notes, and I need to know what this is, Franz. Do you have
No.
Alpha for us?
No, it's fake alpha.
Fake Alpha. You have fake
Yeah.
Alpha for us, and then Stycks Interns had enough of it.
He's gone. No, I
That's
thought I
alpha.
had alpha. I thought I had alpha. I was very
What?
confident.
Tell us about it.
So all this crafting came out, and I was looking at it, and I was like, oh, so the elements tie in with, individual, blacksmithing, you need fire, things like that. So I was like, all right, all the pets have elements too. I'm going to
correct.
go and I'm going to find the blacksmith bonus pet that's 3 stars and is also fire element. And that's going to be the perfect match for, my paladin or whoever that's blue.
And the matching the element will
And the
will
matching
probably be a
element is
boost.
going to
Yeah.
be synergy, and it's going to be amazing. Went and looked and realized that all of the elements on the pets match their crafting profession identity. Like all of the goldsmith boost pets are water element, so there's no alpha there.
So
I was
there's-
really excited to tell it on the pod,
I
and
know.
everyone's going to be like, "You're so smart, it's great." No, not to
and
not
that's
to be.
that's why we started this, because we wanted that praise.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's all I'm here for.
But
Clout.
all right, but so I guess this is an interesting point though to note, and I think and we were talking about this before we went live. Hubert talked about this in an AMA like a while ago when he was talking about like the higher level. There's going to be a super ultra mega mythic above mythic for pets for rarity. But
That was the name he gave it.
Yeah, I think that's what
I actually understood it a bit differently than that. It wasn't gonna be above mythic. It was like, you know how there's the odd pool rare variants? There's
Oh,
gonna
so
be
it's like-
super rare variants. Or like versions.
Yeah, I remember that. Maddie, you're just completely wrong.
whatever. Regardless, there's going to be another category of pets. But also, he talked about in that same AMA, he talked about like the elements being changed or some alignment being changed on what pets get what element. And I think he referenced this in terms of crafting, and none of us really paying attention because we didn't think crafting was going to be important forever. But as it stands right now, any pet who has a crafting gene automatically has the element that matches with that. That's something that's like built into them that I find very interesting that they must have been thinking about this element aspect of it as part of crafting, at least for a while now, because all the pets have the exact matching, matching genes.
I think they've been thinking through the crafting system and how it ties with pets since before blue and gray pet eggs were released. Because remember when they released those two, the filter that you're looking at, if you open up the filters on the left, like they had all the different crafting types listed there.
Yeah.
So that told me back then that like, look, they're already really heavily considering this because they were willing to commit to what those were going to be.
Yeah, I find that very interesting, and also I do love the idea of Franz thinking he's like a genius, and like he worked out the perfect. He worked it out. He's like, oh, I got it. Yeah, I'll find the pets with the element. No one else knows about this.
I mean, I went to the market, was gonna snatch a few before blessing the community with my alpha.
Wisdom.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
I find that very interesting, and I mean, kind of final thing, I think. I do want to add, like, final. We got to move on to other topics because we've been going long on this, but pets in general. I put it in the trailer in that little video that we made that was fun where we were talking with Mythic Squad, and I said how we're lower. And actually, I should say this: Stycks Intern is a member of Mythic Squad, so he's representing them here now.
Oh,
Mythic Squad. Oh, that's good. That's good. Mythic Squad is the highest people, at least publicly here in the community. They're the highest on pets than anyone else. We've been kind of mid-level. Franz has been pushing for pets for a little bit here, but do you think in general your opinion on pets has changed? And I think mine has gone up ever so slight, but not much, is what I'll say. And Franz and Guy, I want to hear your opinions on that.
Guy, you want to go for it?
Do you know what the question is?
Yeah, no, I'm ready. I thought I was gonna be polite.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm still on pets.
Fair. Yeah.
Really glad I passed up for that.
I've got my I think I have 6 pets that are 2-star combat or better, which is like good enough for me.
Yeah.
And I still have 40 eggs I gotta hatch at some point.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm good enough on pets. I've got 27 gray and blue eggs still to hatch. So that's like more than enough for me. So it's like I'm good.
Mr. Intern, give us your sales pitch on pets here. You're pro pets, right?
Oh yeah. So I was actually slow to toe the party line on this one with Mythic Squad.
They almost kick you out.
Oh yeah, it came to virtual blows. But I actually was like thinking they were going to be very meh, and I can just get them later. But after just listening to the Mythic Squad members talk about how the pets are giving you XP. They're giving you multiple bonuses across your 2 professions and in combat. And even if you're a PvP maxi trying to maximize PvP, you're going to want a 2 or 3-star combat ability because, what if that's the equivalent of a triple intimidation team or a triple leadership team, right? And that's not too far-fetched to think about. A 15% change is a 3-star bonus. So that kind of reasoning just tells me that, look, they're going to be super high value. And I don't know. I think Grady's right to question whether the gray 1-star pets will be, but I think honestly, once you have a high enough level of hero that if you're just adding even some little multiplier to it, it's going to be really valuable. And I think XP is generally undervalued by people in this community right now, which is fair. But think about this: we've been doing these gathering quests with the lowest possible XP rewards, right? We get like less than 100 sometimes for fishing and foraging. And if that base number, that base value goes up with these higher level quests quite a bit, that percentage starts looking juicier and juicier, even if it's really small. And so I think with the higher level heroes is going to be very important.
Yeah, definitely. I'll just add a little bit to the end there. You always paint me into this corner, like you guys, of being anti-pet. I was never anti-pet. I just couldn't get into them. I couldn't fully comprehend them until they were a little bit closer. They did nothing for me when I knew it was months away. They're going to be so important. I mean, come on. We're in a game where every percentage point matters. We use little crystals that cost us real money to get the chance of an extra point on our stats. Yeah, these percentages are definitely going to be important.
Yeah, a stat that may or may not align with the class you get at the end of the summon.
Right.
Sure. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, but I mean that's a very good point. I think I like your. I always like pets, just not.
Maddie,
Right now,
I'm going to
so-
take over for you because your sound just went to shit.
Okay, I thought
So-
that was just me for a
What
second.
happened?
Yeah,
So,
no.
Franz, Maddie, stop
Buzzy.
talking. Just
Yeah,
go
Maddie,
away for a
mute
bit.
while you figure it out.
Alright.
Would you rather 3 floor pets or a floor hero?
Wait, 3 floor
So,
pets or
the,
floor
the
hero?
pet floor is at 17 crystal. The hero
Mhm.
floor is at 41.
So I need
Oh.
one more piece of context. Do I already have heroes?
Yes.
Then I'd probably go for the pets.
No way. The floor pets?
3 floor pets versus 1 floor hero.
Give me the hero every time. Heroes can work on their own. And
Yeah,
I
but
want,
I already have heroes by hypothesis. That's why I asked.
okay, I guess so. You're thinking of it in terms of like you don't have enough pets for all your heroes right now.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I don't.
So
In
are
that
pets,
context,
are
then
pets
sure,
going
yeah.
to be more than a 30% boost to your heroes?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're gonna want a pet on every hero, a hat on every head. What's the saying?
Pot in every house. What? No.
Hey.
Is my volume okay?
No, you're good. I was gonna say you came back in well with everything fixed, and I thought you had it for a second, but that's not it.
No,
either.
it's not it. It's an
It's
old
an old
president.
president.
A president
It's an
said
old
it,
president. Yes.
yeah. It's a pot in every home, something like that.
All right. Well, we'll look that up later.
Yeah. A pot in every home. A
get
chicken
there
in every
one
pot.
Day.
It's a chicken in every pot.
That
That is
the
what it
phrase.
is.
Yep.
That is what it is.
All right. Well, that was kind of I was trying to wrap that up because we got to move on. We're moving on from crafting. I think crafting is awesome. Again, shout outs to the team. I think it went very smooth because every single hero had to reroll. So I think the fact that they got that done was awesome. Quickly, I want to talk about this, and then we got more stuff to talk about in the AMA and some other stuff. But I do want to talk about Legionnaire very quickly. So they dropped the Legionnaire Codex yesterday. And Wowie and I was on Wowie's stream yesterday, and we went for like 5 hours, which was insane.
What'd you
and
talk about for 5 hours?
He's never played Stratego. Can you believe that? Can you believe Wowie's never played Stratego?
So was
That's
that like 6
one of my
minutes of
favorite
the 5
games
hours?
Yeah,
or
there was a
what
lot of it. It was honestly, I did a Stratego rant for an hour. No, I'm.
Maddie,
but-
remember what we said about keeping things on top?
Yeah, you're right. All right,
Yeah.
sorry. Anyways, Legionnaire, I think very interestingly, Legionnaire has a ton of moves where you're moving positions. Like you're moving your team's position, moving your opponent's team's position, like rearranging what's going on. I think it's very, very cool. I think it's one of the best subclasses, just based on what we've seen so far. That is my personal opinion. I think they have a lot of moves early on that really could boost other classes and across the board because they have one track that's defensive, one track that's offensive, and then one track that's kind of like a leadership, kind of like team buff track. And so I think it's got a lot of versatility and could easily be an awesome subclass to even like a Dread Knight. I think like I know it's a bold claim, but I think Legionnaire would be an excellent subclass to a Dread Knight. Because you could do whatever you want, really, and it has a lot of versatility. Did you guys happen to look at the skill codex? Do we have any thoughts quickly? We do have a lot of other topics, so I don't want to spend too long on this, but any thoughts on it?
Well, when I played Tank Main and Heroes of the Storm, moving people around was always, my favorite utility. I think the real question with Legionnaire is not whether it's a good subclass for any damage dealer. I think one of the questions is for tank heroes, will you want the Legionnaire to be on the primary or the subclass? Because I think a Legionnaire primary with a Knight sub is going to be wicked busted just because of all the passives you get.
100%. I think, and also back and forth though, like Legionnaire and Knight subclass or Knight with Legionnaire subclass, like combining those two, because right now they're both counters to each other. So if you could get both of their skills active at the same time, then it has no counter. Yeah, I do love that idea.
Yeah. I hadn't thought about it as much in terms of subclass. I hadn't gotten to that stage of, kind of considering all this yet. But I thought there were a few interesting things with it. One being, we kind of got the answer of something that we already all knew about the spear. All of the spear attack moves are 2 distance.
Right.
They can attack P2. And we all knew that from that infographic long ago. But like, it's good to like really know that. And so like, I feel like the Legionnaire tells us more about the Dragoon, which I'm excited about.
Yeah, that's
right, because it's gonna have that same spear, and so that's gonna be fun. And the other thing, the idea that the what's the name of it? Die by the spear is the name of the path, the track.
Yeah.
So the offensive track is all Dex type moves.
Right. Yes.
And
I was thrown off by this. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so I went back and looked at I always thought that the hero stats for Legionnaire were very similar to the Knight, where it's just the vitality, strength, endurance. But Dex is pretty far up there, and
65%.
Yeah,
for Dex for the Legionnaire.
It's high, right? So now you're in a situation where this comes up in other classes, but like none that come to my mind right off the bat, where you have now 4 stats that you have to focus on. You have to kind of make those decisions when leveling up. Like you have to kind of decide early on if you're going to be doing a die by the spear offensive Legionnaire.
Well, to get the maximum stat.
Right, if we're
alignment.
min-maxing and we're kind of building for a specific, like I can see a case for having, if you're one of these people that wants like one good of every class.
Right.
I think this is one of those classes where having 2 of them makes sense. I think the pirate is another one of those.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Where like there are distinct paths on different stats where it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just rambled for a little while.
No, that's good shit. Guy, do you get a chance to look at the codex at all?
I mean, there's a move that says shield wall. What else do you need to know?
It's great.
I mean, shield wall is a great move.
Shout out The Last Kingdom. If anyone hasn't watched that on Netflix,
please go do.
It's so good.
Isn't it like 5 seasons?
Yeah, they just kept making
every
them.
Season's worth it.
Should I binge it right now? The whole
You
thing?
should.
It's very cool. Just real quick, it's very cool because in all of these old school like medieval army type shows, it's these like 100-foot walls and like 3,000 person armies. In this show, it's like, all right, we got 50 guys, like let's go attack this base, and the wall is like not much higher than they stand. Like it's very like realistic in that
Interesting.
sense.
That's fun.
All right, I'm done. We can move on.
No, that's great.
I like it.
Yeah. So, anyways, Wowie says he's gonna post that stream on YouTube. So, if you guys have 5 hours to spare, I would highly recommend checking that out.
Which hour was the best?
The first hour is always the best. Watching Wowie try to do formatting.
Yeah. The first hour is just Wowie formatting, which is hilarious. And he's like, I can't talk, so you talk. I like ramble because he's like, I can't talk while you ramble. Anyways, no, I would say hour like 2 to 3 is like both of us are high energy, and then like from 3 to 4 we both start getting tired a little bit. But hour 2 to 3 is the key thing. Watch it right there. All right, let's move on.
Need timestamps on that thing.
Yeah. All right, I want to talk a little bit about the AMA that was last Thursday. Today, to timestamp this, is 4/11, so it's April 11th. Last Thursday was, do the math on that, whatever. Couple interesting things from the AMA that I wanted to shout out. Number one, and Guy, this is something that you told me you wanted to talk about. Dreamer went on like kind of I forget what the question was, but he went on a long speech about kind of looking for funding and kind of presenting DFK from a position of strength. Because people had asked them during the bear market, like, are you guys looking for investors? Are you guys looking for money? Are you going out there? And they said they wanted to wait until they were in a position of strength to go out there and to kind of like potentially get people to invest. And so they feel like now they are in that position, which I agree with. I think the having the parity of the two blockchains, and also just the community and where the game is at status wise, I think they are in a position of strength. And he said that they are kind of seeking that out. Now he was very vague, like he didn't specifically say like we're looking for VC money or we're looking for specifically for this or that. He just said like they're in a position of strength and they feel comfortable going out there.
Right.
What are your thoughts on this in terms of like the game and how they're like business? I guess that's business dev. I would categorize that.
Well, so it's like the important thing to know is DFK is not going anywhere.
Right.
And I think that's where the question stemmed from of like, do we need to worry about the team running out of money? And the answer to that was no, but we're being frugal and there's avenues that we'd rather not be frugal in, i.e. getting on a centralized exchange listing or doing these big scale marketing events and things of that nature. So it's like if they go do these higher levels of fundings, all it's going to do is increase the adoption rate and increase the player base for the community.
Well, hopefully.
Hopefully.
I mean,
well, that's where
the
they would put the
goal.
resources towards.
We don't know for sure. I think I don't know. I'm hesitant here, and again, I also want to hesitate in general. Bogside chats in general. I don't want to get too in the weeds here because I don't know how investing in VC funding works, and I don't really want to speculate like that. We know how that works, so like I don't want to get too into it, and I also am hesitant because I want Kingdom Studios to be independent. I don't want some sort of super angel investor coming in and being like, well, this is going to work this way now because I own
look at all the other VCs tied to crypto projects.
Right.
They just do hype campaigns up to a dumping exercise where their coins vest and away goes the project.
And then dump. But I'm hesitant though because I also don't know, and I trust the Dreamer is doing the right thing here and approaching this in a kind of in a smart way, but I don't really want funding to come in right now. But does the team need that? I don't know. I
think there's things they can't do without funding. But are we okay letting it just be kind of continue to grassroots and build a game that if the right game is built, more will come?
And again, Franz or SI, do you guys have any thoughts on this? I don't know. I'm nervous to comment on it. I think I trust Dreamer, and I'm kind of like, do whatever you're going to do, bud. That's kind of where I'm at.
So I think, one really big point that Franz touched on was that, some things we would rather, as the community, the team, execute something in a non-frugal manner. And I think one of those is definitely, with only the knowledge of having listened to Dreamer and the AMA, my opinion is that a sex listing is probably one of those things where we would prefer maybe a bigger spend on it, which might, not be doable right now, but it's also a key goal. But is it worth even doing if we only get listed on a centralized listing where there's only like $30,000 of volume on the tokens they have there anyway? Like what's the real benefit to the team or to any of us of that? And so if we really did want the marketing to work, maybe, with no inside information whatsoever, that it would be an area where I would want the team to be less frugal. And then, of course, hiring more people, bringing more people on. Having gone from a really big team to a really small team and working out those kinks has to have been hard. And they just see all the things they could be getting done faster that Starbuck is begging for if they had a bigger team, And with regard to funding, in one way, even if they, say Maddie's worst should happen, they do go a VC route and they get, totally half interest in Kingdom Studios. It's not like Kingdom Studios can issue more Jewel True. So that is one way in which we, the holders, are protected. But, I certainly could see downside, and I already have arguments flowing into my head on the downside side of that. But I don't know how strong any of them are because like Maddie, I don't know too much about this situation. So those are my thoughts.
I think it's a very fair. Franz, you got anything on this?
Yeah. Just the idea that I'd be excited to see what they can do with all of the resources that they could possibly have, right? We were talking about this a little bit pre-show, and the idea that before the Harmony hack and before everything kind of went to shit, this team was built out. And they had an army of people, and they didn't have it for long enough to really see what they could do with it before it was kind of pulled out from under them. I would like to see them get some funding and get back to that place where they're firing on all cylinders and people don't have 10 different hats on because they have to.
Right.
You know, that would be interesting. And then my like more kind of out there thought that I was thinking about while Stycks Intern while you were talking,
Okay.
the idea of a sex listing, a centralized exchange listing, and just the idea of what's been going on in the macro crypto space with the, you know, the SEC kind of coming down on all the on ramps and all of these.
You know, you're
all of
opening,
these-
you're popping open a topic here. I don't know if you're ready for.
I mean, I guess we'll see. Just the idea that like, hey, do we want to be really investing in this route that where we don't kind of know who's going to be left standing? Is it maybe more beneficial for them to be using those funds to add liquidity on dexes on other chains, where maybe they'll put an on ramp, like an outpost? Like why are we getting away from the outpost route? Like maybe there should be an outpost on ETH, and SushiSwap should be using those funds to like add liquidity there for Jewel.
The recently hacked sushi swap. Well
Bad
said.
example. Bad example.
So all right, so quickly on the outpost thing, I really agree. I think it'd be very easy, or I don't know technically if there's like legal problems with like
Blockchain. They could put an outpost wherever they want.
Right. So that if you are signed into your wallet and you're on whatever network and
Go with Ethereum.
Yeah, you're on the Ethereum network and you click on DefiKingdoms website, like that something pops up of like, here's how you can get your funds into the game, right?
Guy has it up.
Okay, so this is how it works
Click on it,
for
guy.
this is for Avalanche, right? If this was available on Ethereum, on Immutable, IMX, I think that'd be awesome. Like, you know, a lot of these are Polygon, you know, any one of these gaming networks that have wallets available, I think this would be awesome. And obviously the prompts and the stuff would say, here's how you get into the game, here's how you play.
Well, no, it's right there. I mean, move AVAX to get started, move Jewel to get started, or purchase AVAX to purchase Jewel. Like it's very simple and straightforward going from another chain.
Well, I guess I'm specifying these outposts are not saying that you can play from these networks. They're telling you, here's how you play our game. Here's how you get your funds out of your network into our network to play the game, is what the outposts would do, right? That, I mean, we're not actually adding Polygon network into the realms, you know?
No. And you're looking at it on AVAX. AVAX C chain isn't part of the realms. It's you can travel to the subnet, but it would look exactly like this just on Ethereum. And I don't know, my thought process would be, if it's all EVM, how hard is it to spin up an outpost?
Probably not that hard.
I mean, that seems like maybe someone should write an AMA question.
I think EVM might not even be the right limiting factor. I think anywhere where there's a Synapse integration, right? This should be just putting together a front end. I mean, with my, I say that like it's easy. I don't know how to like code an equal sum in Excel. So don't take my word as anything gospel on coding. But like from what I hear people saying, front ends sound easier than back ends. So I would think that's all that's necessary there.
Also, I just want to say I love that there's just a full-blown conversation going on about the Last Kingdom right now in chat.
Is that happening?
Yeah,
That's
effects and iOS code are talking about Uhtred of Bebenberb.
Ooh, hey, there's a good question here from Juan FZ. You guys want to take that one?
Yeah, I was actually just looking at that. So Juan, welcome. If you're asking, I'm assuming you're on the newer side to DFK, so welcome. It's a lot of fun. ADFK, there are a lot of tools. I would say ADFK's Hero Matcher. So it's what is the actual ADFK.app is the URL. It is the hero matching is part of their paid service. You have to throw a little jewel in or a little crystal in to use it. But you could essentially put in an ID here, say what kind of specifications you want, and it'll show you everything on the tavern or everything in existence if you just hit any status. So welcome, and reach out to any of us or anybody in chat or anything if you have other questions. We're a helpful community.
Yeah, and although this doesn't respond directly to your question, because I agree with Franz, this is probably the best tool for finding what is the best match for your hero. But DFKanalytics.com, which that is really good for finding other heroes. So if you learn some of the basics about what kind of matches you're looking for, what kind of abilities you're looking for, you can find heroes this way. It's a bit more manual, and it won't give you like the best available, but that's how I find my matches.
This is the best place to view the tavern.
Right.
To see, like, if I want to buy a hero, I never go into the tavern in
No.
DFK. I come here, and then I just find it through here.
Yes, I second everything that's been said.
Second.
I third it.
Okay,
I
that's
fourth it.
consensus.
Cinco.
Has been reached.
All right, I think I there's probably more to talk about in terms of like getting funding and the stuff Dreamer was saying. I think we're going to talk in circles though, so I think we hit most of the things we want to hit on that. So I do want to move to the next topic because it's very exciting and very fun, and that is Gen Zeros. So we are very happy to have Stycks Intern here as a guest, but more importantly, he has a big announcement that he wants to share with the world.
Yeah.
With the community here. He is now joining the Gen Zero community. Tell us about what's going on here. What happened?
What happened is, all of the logic that the Mythic Squad applies to pets, right? It's is there ever going to be a time, assuming that you're right and this game does well, is there ever going to be a time that it's cheaper than this? Probably not. And I started thinking about, kind of think that about Gen Zeros, and I've kind of wanted one of those since the day I first read the docs. So I was like, oh, those are what's going to matter the most long term. He was like, it's the way they work. And so I'm very excited. I've been hunting, just looking at prices, trying to think about where I'd pull the funds from. And I was thinking next month I'd pull the trigger on just a floor pair, right? That just had no matchups, just to have a pair of Gen Zeros, and I could eventually, maybe leverage into a better pair from there. And then this godsend named Fex, who's in the chat here, he mentioned that his were for sale, and so we kind of got negotiating a little OTC deal, and next month moved up to this month, and I'm a happy camper with a pair that is a Legionnaire Wizard and a Scholar Priest with 3 opportunities for ability mutations and a back app mutation possibility. Fuck. I have infinite opportunities to get rug. My daily rug content may be moving to every 3 days, but
that's what it's
going to be perpetual at this point, which is the best thing about Gen Zeros. I'm so excited, and really thank you, Afex, for helping me make that happen. That you're the man. Honestly,
that is an incredible matchup. So say it again one more time. 3 ability matches.
I can send you the link if you'd like.
Yeah,
I got it pretty easily.
Pull it up.
What are the 2 hero numbers? I'll pull them up.
Yeah.
pull them up. Okay. So they're both Serendale 2.0 heroes. One is 32049.
Yep.
The other one is 9. Single
9.
digit hero ID.
And while you pull that up, I just want to mention we just had this whole talk about the team's funding and wanting them to have all these resources, and you guys are doing big deals OTC, so DFK is not getting their cut.
I mean,
it's not very team player of you,
I'm
is it?
starting up a stream. If you really estimate the fair value of that, I'll get you my firm's rate for my time.
No, France, I have a real response to this because I think this is very interesting, because something the DefiKingdoms team has talked about
How many zeros
is that they want to create a game where the players own their own assets. If they're creating a system where the players own their own assets, this type of deal is something that's going to be built into that, where you have the choice to do what you want with your assets. If you want to sell it over the counter to another person, you can do that. You don't have to use their system. This is like the beauty of Web3, and I think they would appreciate that. Like,
Matty, you didn't have to yell at me. I was making a joke, man.
No,
I'm with you. OTC all the way, man.
No, Bolad
wanna
actually
pay those
messaged me on Discord shortly after he saw Afex tweet and was like, "Yeah, we're gonna need our cut."
See, that's awesome. That's great.
He didn't actually message me that, but I hope he does.
Oh, all right. You should have just left it. It would have.
I could.
We'll edit that out. We'll edit that out. Don't worry. Yeah.
I like that it's a summoner chance because the eventual spell bow.
Right.
I mean that's what you want in play
cool.
there.
Yeah, has a lot of tie with summoners. I like that.
I also like the little low mosh odds, like 0.01% chance for a main class summoner. Like those little things. I'm just excited to see the random hit.
Our last stream, and Guy, if you want to talk about your Gen Zero strategy, but Guy summoned 2 thieves together on our last stream and got a Dark Knight.
Yeah,
because of a
right.
recessive archer
Yes,
in there.
Yeah.
So those hit
Awesome.
sometimes.
I don't know if .01 though. I think that was like
No, it's not quite that.
guys'
but-
odds are like 9%. I think.
I've got like 4.
Yeah.
This is a good looking pair though.
This is a
awesome.
wild pair. I like it.
I
A lot.
love the subclass, and then I love like and it's double exhaust, which is cool too.
That's fun.
No, if
And
you ask me,
leadership.
it's the best pair in the game. I'm not biased.
Yeah. Well, that's what. Who's that? Apex said that. He's like one of the top. What was his comment? Oh no. Well, that wasn't it. I forget where it was. He said like it's one of the top pairs in the game, and I think it's probably up there. I mean, this is rare to find the 3 matching abilities. That's not that
double
common.
clutch chance too. He's saying
Double clutch is huge.
that's very good. Double anything on the passive side.
Okay,
I
all right.
think is
So,
the
all
way
right.
to go.
Obviously, it's early. You just made this purchase, SI, but is your strategy now to summon and sell the 10 of 10s, or are you going to summon and potentially keep going with those 10 of 10s and maybe find a pair on the market? I mean, do you have ideas like that so far? I know it's early. I don't want to push you, but like, do you have ideas on what you're going to do with them?
I do have ideas. So I think any 10 of 10 commons are probably instant list.
Sure.
Because my thought is if I can improve the set of heroes that I have with something I summon from there, I might want to just keep it and sell something else that I have.
Fair.
And so my goal is first going to be to improve my set of potatoes into a set of sweet potatoes.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. And I might play it by ear though. Like if I hit a hot mythic, I might just be like, maybe I can get like a little bit of this back immediately. But it'll be hard for me to tell because if it's a mythic I don't have already, it's going to be hard for me to let go. Honestly,
No,
I don't know.
fair.
I'm gonna have to play it by ear as I go through. Fex did a summon, I think the day of or the day before I got it. So it's like sometime early afternoon for me tomorrow is when I get to do my first one.
Well, so you mentioned the idea of your daily rug videos, and we didn't give you fair time to talk about that at the top of the show.
Yeah.
Maddie fucked that up. And there's no
Thanks.
going back, so it's just no. But tell us more about that. What have you been doing? You said you're going to start streaming more.
Yeah, so I am. I'm starting interns office hours Wednesday night at 10 Eastern, 9 Grady, 7 Pacific, and
That's good.
I'm going to shoot for just 1 hour. This first one I'm doing on my own because I haven't got virtual audio cable yet to route my audio from OBS because I really like OBS. I find it very intuitive. I want to play all my sound effects, but I can't plug a microphone into StreamYard, so I don't know how to get people. But I think I can solve that with a virtual audio cable, and we'll be good to go for next week if I want to start doing guests. And then this all kind of came about because I just decided one day, like, these Wall Street Bets people really, the community really banded together over lost porn and people posting big red candles in their portfolios.
It's true.
And so I just, recorded on my little iPhone, to screen record with the microphone on, commentated a summon, and named it #rugporn. Things kind of just took off from there. People liked it so much, I decided to start doing it every day. Changed the name to Daily Rug so that I wouldn't get censored by some Twitter algo. And
It's a good idea.
I've been really surprised by the feedback, but I guess the original idea wasn't a bad one. People really like that kind of content.
Well, so is it exclusively rug porn? Like, if you hit a mythic or a legendary, are you not going to show it?
No. It's the opposite. It's either I get rugged or the viewers get rugged. Right. So if I get a good hero, the viewers get rugged.
Fair enough. I like it.
Yeah, because I can't, I don't have enough juice to commentate that many times, and I prefer it be like unscripted. I just kind of say what's at the top of my head every single time. Like the other day, I did, "Welcome to Rug Side Chats."
I like that one a lot.
After I saw your guys' video, it was just got me inspired. I was in the car. I was like, I'm gonna rip this right now. So
That's good shit.
just one video, record, send.
No, it's a lot of fun. I've enjoyed those videos. I watched them on Twitter.
Goblin Town video was not as popular as I was hoping, but thankfully
Yeah, I shut that
me,
one off halfway through.
Yeah, doing that
I was like,
hard.
I'm not listening to this.
I'm done with it. I'm not doing that again. FYI.
I still came back for the next video though, so
I appreciate you.
You didn't lose viewers for good.
Yeah,
or at least this one.
One mistake is forgivable. If I did it again, axe.
Yeah. Yeah, there's Sergeant. Welcome.
Sergeant.
Hello. But
Love
yeah,
it.
the Bogside intern's a little upset with Maddie right now because he invited Stycks Intern on
Oh, yeah, that's true.
before our own intern has ever gotten an invite on. So It's
Bogside Intern and I,
He's
we
denied.
chat.
We've invited him several times and he's denied it.
I don't know. It's just it's a little uncomfortable in
He
the
also
Bogside
has-
house right now. A lot of
Yeah,
tension.
He's got 2 kids and he's busy and doesn't want to deal with our
Wow,
bullshit.
now
He has
doxing.
3 kids, but that's fine.
He's 3 kids, really?
Yeah.
I thought he only had 2. Oh fuck.
See, that's
Anyways.
how well you know him.
Yeah.
Wow,
mean,
Maddie.
I give him his college credits. I don't care about him.
We send them
personally.
straight to the college, the credits. We don't give them to him.
No, he don't
Anyways.
get any opportunity to spend this.
All right, so I think SI has a decent strategy here for his Gen Zeros. Guy, you said you had some updates on how you were using your Gen Zeros though. So talk to us about that.
Yeah, so if anyone's been seeing me kind of pop open my my DFK screen, I've just got like my core wallet here that has my crystal in it and then my Gen Zeros. You'll notice I have 2 thieves for my Gen Zero pair.
Mm-hmm.
And very intentional there in the sense of going back to the early days of Sandwich Punch videos. So this isn't necessarily
Wow.
new material, but I think it's kind of been forgotten that from a Gen Zero perspective, you're better off going for a recessive hero than you are for a straight mutation. Now, there's still kind of arguments to be made of like,
Interesting.
all right, from a hero inflation perspective of like, there's so many heroes around of like, I don't want my 2 thieves to turn into a thief. But there's so many people that are going for ability mutations right now that if you actually get a Dark Knight for your Gen 1 hero, you're limiting the chances you have of turning your hopefully advanced ability into an elite ability down the road. So the
'Cause you're starting
strategy,
out with 5 summons instead of 10.
exactly. Yep.
So okay.
Go ahead.
No, well, my question is then, you're specifically worried about the abilities. You don't really give a shit about the classes.
So,
But like, are
but
you looking
there's-
at value though, or are
but
you?
there's also a premium in the market for having a recessive Gen 1. So a thief with a recessive Gen 1 thief, a quote unquote pure thief,
Mhm.
is, I think it's like 120 crystal premium on the market. If
Even
the
if it's-
floor for Gen 1s is 120, I'm selling my recessive thief for 240 or 250.
Sure, I understand that, and I like that. I like that idea. But what you're saying is, you're going to pass up the opportunity for that the main
Dark Knight?
class. Yeah.
Right.
But is the value there though? I mean, what are and I guess the answer is yes, because it sounds like you've looked at it.
Right.
A 5 of 5 Dark Knight with no advanced abilities versus a 9 of 9 or a 10 of 10.
A 10 of 10.
Excuse me, a 10 of 10 with it. Oh, yeah, that makes sense actually.
Because then you're also gonna, if you pair that with an archer, now you've
Yeah.
got an 18% chance of getting a Dark Knight across your 5 summons with the archer.
So you're basically telling Stycks Intern he bought a bad pair.
No, I'll tell you that. I'll tell you who the market is for that extra little bit of percentage points. That's Mythic Squad, baby.
I know.
They love that
I mean, they're
variance.
looking for that. So you want to create a 10 of 10 that has multiple advance. Who gives a
Ideally,
shit?
yep.
Who gives a shit about the class, basically,
Right.
right? That's we're
Well, no,
throwing
he
out the
does
Well,
give a
ideally,
shit.
I
He
want a
wants
thief.
thief.
I want a thief with the recessive thief.
Oh, sorry, you're right. So you're throwing out the mutation for the first class because who cares? And you
Right.
want that thief. It's all right. So, but your choice here, this guy, or these are Gen Zeros, because
These are Gen Zeros,
You
right?
happen to have a thief Gen Zero, and you're matching it with a thief archer. Jesus Christ, this is an amazing pair. I love this.
And the other thing that I get to go for is I do get a 14% chance of
Oh, the
a Dark Knight
subclass.
subclass.
Oh my god.
And now I could be going for a Dark Knight, or I could even be going for like a Dark Knight Paladin or something too.
This is wild. I really like this.
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
Didn't you
Have you
an
been
archer?
hitting on it a lot?
Yeah.
Like
I
as far
think-
as when I say hitting, I mean getting the pure thief.
Yeah.
I think I've done 5 summons so far, and 4 of them have been pure thieves at this point.
Wow.
Nice.
And my one quote unquote miss was actually no, one of them was a Dark Knight, and then my other miss, I actually got a rare warrior. So it's like, is that even a
The
miss
fuck?
Not bad either.
of like a random one?
That's
Not
wild.
bad either.
Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah, it's
So
good.
it's like
I've
kind
been,
of whatever I get out of this, like I'm happy with. Like the summons are a little more boring because I've got a 82% chance
yeah.
of getting a thief.
All right.
But then you're looking at all this other stuff that you're going for.
Well, you also have good stats for it too. I mean,
Right.
dexterity is the undervalued stat for a thief. The one that the actual stat growth doesn't benefit as much, but the skill tree is all about dexterity. And then the other one you had, what was it, blue chance for agility?
Yes.
Yeah,
I think.
agility.
So yeah, I mean agility, that's self-explanatory there. Oh, it's green. All right.
Yeah,
But,
green for agility, blue for wisdom.
Wisdom,
which
whatever.
isn't great, but
Yeah.
that's probably the worst thing on the card. And I wish
Yeah.
I could say I planned for this. But both of them on the crafting rolls got blue enchanting.
Oh
and
wow.
blue
Oh, so you really hit on that.
Yeah.
Are any of those so enchanting is more caster? What's
Intelligence.
woodworking?
I think it's intelligence.
Well, so it's I didn't realize this till today before we hopped on screen. These are the best two stats for Dark Knights. So if my plan long term is to build a Dark Knight,
Jesus.
because
Wow.
woodworking is vitality and dex, and then
Okay.
enchanting is vitality and intelligence.
Oh wow. Oh, so Dark Knight's really good for enchanting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was seeing it as casters because I knew intelligence was a
I knew
big part of
intelligence
it,
was
but
yeah.
yeah, I mean Dark Knight is the intelligence
yeah.
vitality kind of crossover there.
Yeah, so I'm pretty
Damn.
excited about this pair.
Wow,
Me
way
too,
to-
man. I really like this
Wait a-
advanced Gen Zero strategy.
Sit-
One day I'll be able to get there after I play around
Wait,
for a
yeah, I
while.
was
This
gonna
is
say,
cool.
Way to
He's gonna
show up-
list his pair
show
right
him up.
away.
I know.
Not at all. No. Should be so happy about it.
That's super interesting. I really like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how much longer we're gonna go, but my my pairs actually just came off cooldown.
Oh,
We'll be in
I'll
a
lead
minute
into
or
it.
two.
How much time you got? We could do it.
I mean, you guys just gotta fill air for a little bit
I
here.
can do that. I've got a
No,
crystal
Great
ready
at
for
that.
you.
I'm great at that.
So this pair was off cooldown, so I just created the crystal before stream.
Oh,
Wait,
nice.
So I
who's
can-
that?
I
Is
can
this
hatch
this is your
This is my
Gen
Gen
Zero?
Zero pair.
Oh fuck yeah! Let's see it. This is live. This is real.
This is
What,
live.
just giving
No,
you like a
I
warrior or
pre-recorded this.
Oh
and
my
you're
god, he
watching it
pre-recorded it. He probably did. Doesn't mess with us.
Oh my god, it's so good.
Watch it be another Dark Knight. That would be wild.
You're not supposed to get Dark Knights out
I'm
of
not
this.
supposed to get. I'm like mad at Dark Knights, which is weird.
You're actively looking for 10 of 10s with advanced abilities.
Right. That's the goal.
This is Dark Knight.
What do we got? We got a thief.
Good.
Do we have color though?
Let's see some color.
Color's the important thing.
Oh, all right.
Oh baby,
I
Double
will
thief.
take that.
thief.
Do we have a fisher too? That'd be pretty wild. Forager.
Foraging.
It's better for Dark Knights.
The crafting split, which isn't the end of the world. And then did I get the recessive? The archer actually slid in. so
That's
I'm still
fine.
no
It's the end of the
recessive.
world. I mean, second best to thief.
Yeah.
Let's see it. Let's see it. Come on, see the abilities. Come on.
Efficient.
Ooh, efficient. 10 of
I'll take
10
it.
with efficient. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Good for a Dark Knight.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
solid.
That's excellent.
It's a good card.
All right,
This
I
is a
got
great
That's-
card.
I got
10s
6
and 10s
minutes
with
left on
advanced.
cooldown.
I've been
Yeah.
buying those a lot lately, so I like it.
Yeah.
Well, Fran says we have 6 minutes, and I do have 2 topics I want to throw out there very quickly.
Ooh, here we go.
Any comments on?
Lightning round.
I do want to touch on this a little bit. Gas prices. So there was a lot of complaints about gas when the reroll happened because like a million people.
It's
were
not
all-
just the
were all doing
reroll.
it. Oh, you're right.
You've attributed to that twice now. It's still happening.
I mean, the gas is high. Are we worried about it? See, like in my mind, I don't care that much. I only have 100 euro, or I shouldn't say that. I have 125 euros now at this point. So I don't care that. Yeah, thank you, Franz. I don't care that much in my mind. I value leveling up and gaining experience. I give that more value than I think a lot of other people do. So like, when I go on a quest with my heroes, yes, they get, they get a bloater or they get, a ragweed, and it seems like it's not worth the value of the gas cost. But in my mind, the experience that you gain, I give that more value. That's just me personally. So like, I'm not really as upset about these gas prices because they're not crazy to me, really. But I understand other people being upset about it. I mean, have you guys looked at this at all? Any thoughts on it? I don't know.
Yeah, I have lots of thoughts on it. I think
okay.
people who
Wow.
are
All right.
complaining about high gas prices and want to make any kind of return or see this game have any kind of success, have a schizophrenic take on the matter, because what do you think is going to happen when more people come in and start using either of the chains this plane is on? Like, what you want to happen is going to make the gas prices go up. So don't start bitching when the gas prices go up, because if you start complaining about like the symptom of the good thing that you're making the devs try, it's ridiculous. I think honestly, people just need to reevaluate their like where that cognitive dissonance is coming from, and like figure out that high gas prices are, I don't want to say high gas prices are the goal, but like higher than the 0.00001 cent things that we've had in the past. Like that is, it still shows up as 0 on my screen most of the time.
Right.
Even like this past week, it's sure. I actually, at the minute of the reroll, went and did all of my stuff. And yeah, those transactions cost me like a jewel each, but like, okay. It hasn't
I didn't even get to a jewel. I had one that was like
show up.
I think I did one that was like 0.3 jewel. Was like the highest I ever got during my reroll time, and I was like, yeah, that's high, but I'm like, I don't give a shit. Like, I want to see the results. Like,
yeah. I think MetaMask was overestimating on me, to be completely honest, because it didn't look like it drained as much as it said it would. And that's another thing. I think a lot of these people don't realize that MetaMask is, if they're doing it manually, MetaMask is programmed to like kind of estimate above. So it's kind of like the classic sales, over promise and undeliver. Well, like, we think it's going to cost this much. Hey, it costs you a little less. Aren't you happy now?
Fair.
And so unless they're actually going through and making these spreadsheets of their gas on a profit and loss thing, I doubt that they're actually spending as much as they think they are. And if they are doing that level of effort, then it goes back to my original point. They are super schizophrenic if they are doing that level of effort on the monetary side and don't want to see people come in.
Well, wait. So I got to push back a little bit. I think everything you just said is true. And when you're thinking about the macro of like getting the game to grow, agree with you. But with the in-game portion of it, like it's more crystal that is being traded to jewel, or it's more jewel that you're using, right? To me, it's like, now I'm moving back over to Clayton more. Like the gas isn't as different anymore. That like now all my foragers are back in Clayton. So
agreed. Mine too. And I also think that's healthy. And that's one of the
it is healthy, yeah.
Really good things about the expansion system. One of the things that I think is really elegant about it is that it's like a load balancer across these different chains for gas. And like, look, if one goes crazy, say a chain blows up that you're on, you didn't expect it, people can migrate out. Yep. And if they're all catching up, then if they're all about the same, then like, well, what is there to complain about? If I'm using crypto, I'm going to have to deal with that. And if I'm in crypto anywhere else, like Polygon, the one that people are asking for, I've always been really surprised by that, because like gas fees on Polygon, they show up on MetaMask. They are actual like cents most of the time, if not, and I've never had dollars. It's been a while since I've used it, but even back a while ago, it was that.
Well, Bolon has talked about this several times, and he mentioned it on mentioned it on that Sergeant stream.
Yeah, I'm stealing content.
Yeah. Where like he said like Polygon like is just not viable for DFK.
The amount of microtransactions.
And not to completely pivot the conversation, but kind of ask in a different way.
Yeah, please do it.
Do we have too many transactions for what's being output right now?
I don't think so. I mean, I that's hard because that's a very technical question that I don't know if I can answer technically. But I think with the right network, no. The answer should be no to that.
It's like a quasi on-chain, off-chain question,
right?
Or like should we be allowing larger batch questing? Should we only have to quest once a day rather than 3 times a day?
Well,
as the game grows, and
they've said they're going to put automation on as like a regular feature, and we haven't seen that.
And, there are certain things I've seen in crypto where it could be like more like a staking thing where you just do the one transaction, put it in there, and it keeps going, using up and recharging the stamina all until you withdraw it. So I mean, that would be one way to reduce transaction amounts. But then people I know when the idea of staking heroes was first floated, it was like, oh, it'd be even less clicking buttons.
It's not
than
crypto
it is now.
at that
it's
point,
not
right?
a game.
You don't have control over your hero, right?
Or it's not even that, because I think I think staking is like I may have miscommunicated there a little bit. It's just I didn't mean to suggest that you were getting rid of it. Just like you were putting it into a smart contract, which I guess I see where you're going.
Right.
Never mind.
Yeah.
I just had to walk through. I got there.
Yeah,
As
exactly.
the game
Right.
grows, there's reason to there's less importance in a batch of 6 foragers on level 0 quests. You know what I mean? Like we can make that be a day worth of quests, 2 days worth of quests. Even if you have guys that are going to just be foraging, let us set them for 3 days. Once the amount of transactions across the whole ecosystem grows to that point.
Right. I really think, I like the question guy, kid. I think it's spot on thinking wise, because especially now around tax season with tax service providers charging you for the number of transactions, which I actually think is a major gouge.
I have no, keep
important.
talking. Sorry, but I have shout out iOS code in the chat. I'm 81% done, buddy. Nice. Ledger for taxes were brought up, and that's what's going on my other screen there.
Yeah, well, you see, the number of transactions matters in other ways than gas, and so I think that's one hidden cost, kind of just with these analyzers going by number of total transactions, they have to analyze to figure out how much you have to pay to get like a report output. Yeah.
No, I don't have a comment.
Right now, the amount of transactions is something that DFK uses to market, uses to prove their worth. Once we get to this max capacity place, that's less important, and
I agree.
it's about taking strain off.
Yeah, I remember where I lost my train of thought there. I think we might see like a revamp of the system as a whole with these level, and like a test of that, or a direction of the way they're going to go with quests and when these level 10s come out.
Yeah, could definitely be. One thing that we glossed over, and I was planning on having Cujo's write-up of the AMA up. He didn't do a write-up this week. Totally screwed us, personally. So,
because usually we
survived. We did pretty well.
But it's easier when you're kind of just following along. But one thing that he never mutes when he leaves his fucking camera off.
No, he just leaves it
He's
open.
in the sound room.
It's incredibly rude.
Sound can't get in.
Incredibly rude. But no. One thing Hubert was talking about was how the changes to the contracts and kind of the underlying tech of all this to make pets equipment, how that was going to kind of what he was alluding to was how much easier it's going to be to make equipment come out. Like I don't think equipment's around the corner, but it sounds like the groundwork is there. The framework for equipment is there because pets technically are equipment. Right.
I've had that theory for a while in my private group chat with Stycks, that pets were going to function like equipment, and the reason that it was taking so long is because they had to build the entire equipment system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now we just need the artwork to get going, and that's where them hiring more people and more artists and stuff would be
things that
helpful.
you can scale out.
Yeah. What do we think? We're going to get a nice mythic bard here. Foraging.
All right.
Dark Knight sub.
What's your success rate been so far? Have you got
I can't remember my last shapeshifter or bard. So these pairs are set up so that I can get elites on the next summon.
That's cool.
They're advanced that if the Vance hit and it's a friggin' knight.
It's a left field.
Unbelievable.
Is it shiny? Is that shiny? I don't know.
It is
with
shiny.
A green strength.
Shiny rare. Nothing.
Oh.
Nothing.
Wait, but it's rare. That's
it's
still good.
Good.
Yeah,
it's a goodness.
Good. I get way too many knights from this Legionnaire Scholar pair.
It seems odd.
Wait, wasn't knight a third, like an R2? For you? For this one?
Where's knight in the recessive?
Yeah.
So
on the pair?
On your Gen 0.
I'm not sure.
Before you open up this next one,
yeah,
I'm gonna remove the aura of the rug. I'm gonna say thank you guys for having me on the show today. It's been really good. I got to drop because my wife is a hungry woman, and it's time I got to go get dinner made. But it's been a real pleasure with you, and I hope that by leaving, your next one is a mythic.
Wait, quickly.
I hope so too.
What is the name of the YouTube channel where we can watch you tomorrow night?
Yeah,
Stycks Intern.
That's it.
YouTube. That's it.
Okay.
Two
All right.
words. Two words.
That's it.
First
Well,
name
beautiful.
Stycks, last name Intern.
We'll make sure that our intern tweets it out from the Foxhead account.
You will recognize the profile picture right there.
Yeah,
That's it. So, yeah, looking forward to it. Tomorrow at 7 p.m. Pacific, 9 o'clock
Yeah.
rating.
Let's
Nice.
all show out and make sure that we're
Yeah,
giving
we'll
them a
be
good
there.
chat for the first one.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Appreciate
Later,
it.
bud.
Really good
Of
time
course,
tonight.
yeah.
Thanks for coming on. All right, cool. Now that he's gone, let's have some
Now
fun.
that he's gone,
Let's get a
let's do
mythic
it.
here.
let's get a mythic.
Is this the shapeshifter attempt?
It is, yes. Shapeshifter, summoner, I believe. Yes.
2 or 3 advanced abilities?
3.
3.
Might be 2 on this pair, and the other one's 3.
This is so dramatic.
I know.
Yeah, what's happening?
I haven't
there we
kind of shapeshifter in a long time. I'm starting to like. I'm at the point where like I might go back and like look at the pair again because like I don't get advanced either. It's like does
It's
this
like
have...
nothing.
Oh!
What?
Whoa!
Summoner
Wow,
sub.
you
Summoner
are.
sub. Holy
That's a
shit!
good looking card.
I mean, it's not great. Summoner sub on a
It's
berserker.
a fucking legendary.
Well,
Fuck
but
you.
you're gonna
I
turn.
mean,
it
it'll
into,
sell. It'll sell.
You're gonna
Yeah.
turn it into a shapeshifter. Summoner.
How many advanced do you think it has?
0.
4. You think I got like one of those like 1%?
Was that an option?
No, I don't even know.
Agi.
Gold goddess locks. No, not happy about that.
Foresight.
Recessus.
No.
Seer.
He did call it. Stycks Intern was like, I don't want a
It's
bug
it's
to
a
happen.
good point. It is funny
And then a
that
legendary
the
hits. A
second he
legendary hits.
leaves. Awesome. All right. Anyone in the chat like this hero? It's going to be on the tavern.
What are you gonna list it for?
I don't know. Do you want to? Should I pull it up?
Berserker,
Yeah, what are you
summoner,
thinking?
no advance.
So what is the Leggy 10
All right,
sum
so-
gen
legendary.
Yeah,
for?
that's where we'll
So it's
start.
a 10 of 10 too. That's kind of crazy.
325.
No, more than that. No.
That's the legendary
328.
floor?
Okay.
Yeah.
Legendary floor, and then it was what, a berserker?
Yeah. So berserkers are 399.
All right, don't front run the stream.
I'm,
Am I not?
Yeah, you're not sharing.
Oh.
I do
Alright.
that all the time, so
Yeah.
don't worry about it.
I don't have the wheel very often, so 399, and that one is a what?
Aphex makes a good point. I'm glad we kept him around.
Very
Don't
true.
forget about the summoner sub.
Very
Yeah,
true.
Like we weren't gonna keep him around.
Well, that's
Like,
the thing. These, yeah. I don't think he's ours to keep around. He's around. No. So berserker, there are no subclasses, advanced subclasses for legendary plus. I'm checking now.
Wait, what's
just
his
in general.
what's his crafting? I missed that. Could we see that?
There wasn't a match.
Legionnaire summoner is a 999 crystal. There's a Night Ninja.
At 837. That's the
Yeah.
cheapest legendary advanced sub right now.
Paladin, Dark Knight Summoner, Ninja, Shapeshifter, Bard.
How much did
837.
chat pay for a blue crafting element in Stataline Gen 1 10 of 10? That is a good question.
I mean, I think right now we need more time. We need more time for the market to understand crafting, right?
Well, so
Do we?
we were talking about summoning earlier. Are people going to summon towards blue crafting and aligned elements? Because right now, so few exist.
Mhm.
But since so few exist, are people going to start focusing that on their summoning?
For me, it still comes back to how many am I going to need?
Which is a fair question of like you might
I-
only need one.
I can't imagine that there's a cap of like, oh, if you have 3, that's all you need. If you have 4, you're fucked. That's never gonna.
No,
happen.
no.
But so
the
it's
cap
just
would
like
be
a
1.
frequency aspect that like
Right.
Is there going to be-
gardeners is only 2 at a time.
is there going to
whatever.
be some kind of
Yeah.
quest that will require multiple blacksmithers to build this super
Right.
item, or do you just need one ultra blacksmith and just know that from a frequency perspective you're only going to be able to push out so many crafting items?
I think I would like to see, and this goes back to a conversation that we had, or I don't even think I was on that stream. I think it was you guys and the ADFK guys talking about land and the idea of like in guilds maybe to like build on the land, it takes like 30 days if you're doing it with like 3 heroes, but if you're doing it with like 50 heroes, it takes 6 days.
10 minutes.
Right. And the more you throw at it, the shorter it gets. Maybe crafting will take that
That'd be
long.
kinda
Like,
interesting.
maybe it'll take 2 weeks to forge a sword, but if you throw 10 blacksmiths at it, now all of a sudden it's cut down to something more reasonable.
I really like that.
I think that'd be fun.
Yeah. I like that a lot.
I don't see
I
it
might
happening.
hit up my boy Hubert, see what he thinks about that.
Just pitch it. Just pitch it as a AMA question.
But so, like,
who says
tied to that, is there any benefit to be summoning for this stuff, or will there be enough in existence just from an RMG perspective?
I mean, I think you can argue
I
that
don't know.
advanced abilities, we've overdone it as a community. And they don't have the value that they could have had if we didn't all discover it and like it so early. You know?
I think it's very interesting in terms of. I lost my train of thought.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
The idea of us finding and getting excited about things and oversaturating the market as a community. Does that jog your memory?
No, yeah, that just makes sense.
Okay. I think we're energy seems to be low. I think we're at that point. Holy shit, we did an hour 45 tonight?
Yeah, we did long ones. So
We're not
should probably
grading.
wrap
We
up.
can't do
Yeah,
this.
we gotta call it. I think it's very interesting. I think we still need more time, more data for crafting stuff to actually understand the value of it.
I think we need to ask some AMA questions.
WoW needs to do math.
Don't say that. What do you mean?
Well, no,
Sorry, wow.
yeah, I was following that too. I was looking on the side. He thought Gen 04 a little off on that, but
Was he thinking that was whatever?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
he probably has a filter, or 4,500 times 40 cents would be $8,000.
This has been another episode of Bogside Chats. We've been talking everything DFK and keeping it casual. Thanks everybody for coming.
Later.